want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. All right, so I wanna hear you guys' opinion, right, directly on this. I'm probably gonna have something a little bit, to say directly after the whole, video is basically done. But you're gonna hear, a black woman who, I guess has like some knowledge in this, basically try to call out, right, a black man on what it is that he stated and try to call cap on, every single thing and try to correct what it is. And, because she's basically stating that he's misleading people and this is all for this, that, and the third, right? And then in the next clip, you're going to end up actually hearing the guy responding back to the original video that she made, and in his own way being nice and also correcting her at the same time. And then later on, you're going to hear her deciding to actually double down as if, well, let me let y'all make that.
I only pay myself about $500,000 a year.
That's cap. And nobody who's a serious entrepreneur or business person is paying themselves that much and taking on that big of a tax liability. More than likely, he's an influencer and he has a course, a service, or a product that he wants to sell you on based on you aspiring to attain his level of perceived wealth. This man lives in North Carolina, where I live as an entrepreneur. And he's doing real estate, which means even if he somehow incorporated in Delaware, he's still having to pay a North Carolina business tax. He cannot possibly be silly enough to be bringing in millions of dollars a year, if that's true, and then paying himself $500,000. He is losing money in the most asinine way ever.
Okay, usually I would never respond to this, but it seems like between the pandemic and TikTok, there's made a lot of tax professionals without the qualifications. But hear me out. I'm not going to sit online and debate how much money I make with strangers. That's between myself, my wife, and the IRS and my business partners. But here's what I will say. Thinking that you're going to paying yourself less money to avoid taxes is poor people mentality. Taxes are just the way of life. There's really not much you can do about it, but there are some things. I'm going to tell you a few. If you plan on building a house on 20 acres that costs over $1 million and you tell the IRS you only make $80,000 to $125,000, you're going to jail. Also, if you're an entrepreneur, there's several ways you can pay yourself. By W-2, which everyone should because you want to show some type of income. And another way is by distributions in your company. Now, in order to take full tax advantage of some of the great products out here in America, you need to be able to earn a certain amount of money. So if you're doing a W-2 way, you need to make a certain amount of money so that your employer can make the maximum contributions to your retirement account, right? Because it's based on a percentage of how much money you make. And then you also can make the maximum contributions to your retirement account. And I think this year, somewhere between $53,000, $54,000, portion of it comes from your employer. Other portion comes from yourself. Another product that you could take advantage of is a bunch of tax-free insurance products. Here's what I mean by that. Some of these products require a lot of money up front. So if you're only making $80,000 to $120,000 a year, it ain't gonna cut it. Some of these policies require six-figure premiums in the beginning for the first few years. You'll figure it out when you get to that tax bracket. But there are products out there. So beyond that, be smart. Don't try to avoid taxes by listening to TikTokers.
They trying to eat me up because I clocked this video as a marketing ploy. I said this man is stating his exorbitantly high income because he's selling you or selling his product or services or whatever, selling you his brand based on the perception of his wealth. He responded this morning, tagged me in the video. I did not tag him, but he tagged me, which means I'm now being harassed by what is largely immigrant cishet black men. In his response to me, he continued his marketing ploy of selling his audience on the proximity or his proximity to the aesthetics of wealth and the perceived wealth that he owns. as he walked through his backyard and discussed this acreage and accused me of promoting tax avoidance while he walked into his business use structure that sits on said residential property and imply that I could benefit from access to it. Even though in my original video, I specifically use the language offsetting your tax liability via your business structure, which Mr. Maxwell goes on to elucidate on the various tactics that you would use to offset your tax liability via a business structure. He's just exploiting a very unfettered, unlearned audience who doesn't see the contradiction in it, making that accusation when you're just expanding on the point I made. You agree with me. It's okay. You're here for the engagement. I get it. And most of his audience doesn't live in a world where they need to be able to distinguish the difference between a private nonprofit and a public nonprofit, or how the state of North Carolina will allow you to run certain nonprofits without federal recognition. Y'all have no understanding of what it means to have a federally recognized 501(c) nonprofit, or what business structure that then requires. So when he gives this donation of $1,000 that is 100% tax deductible, and I hope he appreciates that small tax write-off, y'all think this is some great grand benevolence that my poor old plebeian ass needs to bow down to. No, what I really appreciate is that my brand is so brolic and my integrity is so strong that when he goes to click around on my social media, because I don't play into this game of selling people my brand based on my proximity to the aesthetics of wealth. So he has to question on which authority did I clock him so thoroughly with, that all he lands on is my book club, the public nonprofit, and our GoFundMe. So even as y'all suggested that 1K is 13% of all our donations, and y'all have no clue the access that being a 501(c) gives us to raise funds, but we will file a Form 990 for those truly interested. That's part of why I formed a public nonprofit and not a private one, because I wanted to offer the ethics of transparency. Y'all can find that out when we file at the end of our fiscal year. This is all very hilarious to me because I clocked it. And I know what all this is. And a lot of y'all are never going to understand because you don't live in a world where you've been able to accumulate this knowledge. And I'm sorry. Everyone ain't meant to get free. Y'all can keep licking his boots though.
All right, so you were able to hear her basically say that the dude is, in a sense, capping about a lot of the stuff. He came through and corrected her nicely. He was not, trying to do anything wrong or anything like that. He just said, stop listening to people on, TikTok who are not, in a sense, certified to talk on these things. And then she came back and still tried to double down on what it is that she stated. And then she made some other videos later on her TikTok to further, triple, quadruple, whatever number you want to use, directly on this topic. This is my thing. Out of everything in life of who you should be watching yourself. At no point in time should you be trying to watch somebody else's money. It's not your business. Right? And then you had a whole bunch of people in the comment section basically agreeing with her and all these other types of things. I'm like, ain't none of y'all doing nobody's taxes. Ain't none of y'all been doing this for 20 years. Y'all don't know the tax codes and all of these books and the loopholes and whatnot that's been taking place and that are there and that are being created at this moment in time. What are you talking about? This is why you get people that are good at what it is that they do. Like I said, look at a lot of the billionaires and whatnot. They don't even really pay taxes, and look at how much they sit up there and pay themselves. Like you have to be kidding me at this moment in time. But like I said before, you'll have people out here that are doing a variety of things, right? And this is the main thing I'm trying to get people to understand, right? So the brother, he does real estate, he does social media, and I saw one clip where he is starting up an airplane school. That cost a lot of money, right? They were already putting I think he stated like epoxy. He was putting down stuff on the on the floor and whatnot for for the planes, and they already had one plane directly in there, right? So like I said before, this brother is doing a multitude of things. When he was explaining the video, you saw his acreage that he had there. That wasn't just like a house just sitting on a block. Nah, that was a house sitting on land. That's powerful. Like I said before, and people don't even understand, when you have land and then you have a home and then you have a business on that land, Like you can do a 2-for-1 right there just off of that. Just from my understanding, like I said before, I'm not an ultra knowledgeable dude when it comes to taxes, but certain things that I understand and know that rich people do just so happen to do, I might know a little bit of those things. Not saying that I know everything, but I know, some of or a few of those things because you got some people that might say something, right? So there's a multitude of things that he could be doing. There's a multitude of things that the person doing his taxes could be doing, which are legal, right? Let me reiterate, legal, because the same thing that the person doing this tax is doing is the same thing that they're probably doing for the billionaires and so on and so on and so on directly out there. And she wanted to state that, oh well, he's doing this because he's trying to sell people this dream close to proximity and all this other type of stuff, and he's also trying to sell this marketing and da 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 da. But then when you sit up there and listen to her, you hear her mentioning her business and what it is that she does and how it is that that works. I'm like, so if you're trying to claim that he is doing this, wouldn't within the same circumstance you're trying to use the publicity that you have in order to get people to look at what it is that you're doing? Like I said, I'm not going to blame you. I can't sit up there and fault you. It's a very smart business move. I'm pretty sure anybody that is in the line of business and making money, I'm pretty sure they would do the exact same thing if they were smart. But you can't sit up here and say that this is what he's trying to do when in your videos, you're sitting up here consistently talking about what it is. Like, oh, we got a nonprofit. I got a book club. I got this. I got that. We don't really need that. I hope he enjoys. What did she say? She said up there, the brother actually gave her like $1,000 donation to the nonprofit, whatever. And she turned around and was like, well, I hope he enjoys that nice tax write-off that we set up there, or that little tax write-off that we set up there and just gave him. I'm like, what is your problem? What is your problem? Like, the dude didn't come to you with like no animosity. And then you wanted to get mad. You was like, oh, well, I did the video and I didn't tag him, but he did his video and tagged me. And you were talking about him. And he felt that you were saying things incorrectly and he wanted to correct you. So now that he came through and did it, now you want to say that, oh, you're online getting harassed by all of these other people. You want to start throwing around these different types of names for quote unquote straight men and stuff. I'm like, don't nobody got time for this, man. Y'all doing too much. Like I said, doing too much. People got to understand, people got to look at the words that people use when, they get caught up in arguments and they're trying to quote unquote prove points. Like I said, a lot of these people are very, very slick in the things that they do. A lot of these people are very, very slick in the things that they do. But, like I said before, the brother sat up there and told people, he's like, yo, if you think that you're going to sit up there and pay yourself less or whatever in order to, in a sense, pay less taxes, you're going to end up having a problem. You going to jail. He clearly stated that. We know a brother that sat up there and already went to jail because of tax evasion. Because the brother felt like, hey, don't need to sit up there and pay taxes. So, like I said, hey, people can do whatever it is that they want to do. My main thing is black people stop trying to, watch other people's money and trying to state, exactly what is and what isn't. Because half of the time people don't even know what it is that they're talking about once they start bringing up money. Like I said, she could have went on and done that with anybody else out here. There's a lot of social media influencers or what have you directly out there that are open about how much money that they make and how much money that they pay themselves. But yet she decided to go after this one specific dude. Okay.
Another one. Be smart. Don't try to avoid taxes by listening to TikTokers. I know a lot of you were expecting me to respond in a negative way, but that's just not my style. And if your most popular video, is a negative one, you probably should rethink why you're on social media. I see that you have a nonprofit and you're raising money. Congratulations. What I would do is not say too much negative things online because you never know who can help you in your business. or your nonprofit. I have a foundation because it's self-funded by me and my family, meaning that we don't accept outside donations. But I see one of the things that you want to raise money for is so you can increase the video production. Well, in North Carolina, I own 2 studios. One of them is 5,000 square foot, has everything you may need in order to create those videos. So you're more than welcome to use it. Here's another tip for you guys. We've become so conditioned to disbelieve everything we see, so much that we don't believe anything we see, which keeps you in the same box that you're in now. There's nothing wrong with building a brand and making money online. Here's the main thing. As an entrepreneur that owns several businesses, 2 software companies, an airplane manufacturing company, and a flight school, I have personally taken my own money, no donations, and I've given away $140,000 of scholarships to Black and brown kids that want to aspire to be professional pilots. That's because I pay myself $500,000 a year, and part of that money can be written off on charity. And if you own the charity, then you can direct the money to go do what you want to do. It's raining now, so I'm going inside, but you get the point. Don't pay yourself less to avoid taxes. Pay yourself the right amount so you can make an impact. Yeah, by the way, I just donated to your nonprofit because it seems like a good cause.
So I'm just going to leave this exactly where it is. If people happen to see it, then people happen to see it. The brother came back and yet again gave her more information, and more information that I didn't even know, right? You heard him basically state that he has a variety of businesses directly up there. He even has some studios. So he has a multitude of reasons why he is able to pay himself that amount of money. Now, the one thing I want to make very clear to people, he does not necessarily have to do this. He doesn't necessarily have to tell people these things, right? But within him doing this and being open and honest, he's educating people, right? This isn't him trying to, ball on other people and all this other type of stuff. This is him openly letting people know, like, hey, this is how I make this money. This is how I'm able to pay myself because of these businesses that I'm running here. And because I'm able to do this with these different assets, I'm able to, do these variety of things with money legally, right? Within the legal realm. And because I'm able to do that, right, I can make the money do what it is that I want the money to do. Right. And as he stated before, one of the main key points that he brought up specifically about her platform, he was like, yo, if your most trending or your main video that has the highest views is a negative one, you need to rethink why it is that you're on social media. That's facts. That is 100% facts. But like I said before, you saw the responses that she gave. You heard how it is that she decided to talk about the whole situation and how she's still going about the situation. Like I said, sometimes you got people out here, when they are being educated on certain things, they don't know how to specifically take it. When people aren't getting the energy that they're giving out, they don't know how to specifically handle that. And a lot of times people can't really, in a sense, admit defeat, or just simply say like, yeah, I might need some help. But the way that she went about it, like he stated before, it looks like, you were trying to raise money for this, that, and the third. Well, it just so happens that, I own 2 places that specialize in this. And he gave an olive branch. He was like, yo, you're more than welcome to come here and use it if you want to. He's not responding to her in a negative way at all. He's not only, in a sense, trying to educate her on what it is that he does and how it is that he's able to do it. He's also educating other people. But she ain't trying to hear it. And she knows that if she decides, right, to be like, you know what, let me, go see what he's talking about with these facilities that he said that I can use. And she's actually using these facilities. That's almost, for her, that's as if she's admitting defeat. That's as if she's admitting that she lost in different things of that nature. And a lot of people are not used to or willing to take an L. Like I said before, yo, if you were wrong on something, then you were just wrong on something. But if that same person that, you decided to come towards and try to critique and all this other type of stuff, if they're trying to offer you a way in, so that you can do the things that you need to sit up there and do, you might as well take it, instead of just trying to be at a point where it's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, all this other type of stuff, and I don't need nobody helping, yada yada yada. Like I said, there's not going to be too many times in life where somebody is going to give a response and it's going to be in this manner, and they still, while you're still critiquing them and having this type of attitude and energy, they're like, yo, if you want to, you can come and use these facilities if you need them. Like I said, man, life out here is crazy, but this is the one thing I will sit up there and say: social media will show you a lot about people. Social media will show you a lot about people. And like I said, it showed me the type of character that this man has, and it showed me the type of character that this woman has. And if I were to sit up there and judge off of, how people are basically, in a sense, I'm just going off of the portrayal, right? If I'm going by the way it is that somebody decides to portray themselves online, I'm going to go with the person that's, in a sense, right, doing the main things that people want, people to do. Is like, oh, be level-headed, don't attack the situation, emotional, don't come at the same situation with the same energy as somebody else, be the better and the bigger person. If we're looking at that situation, the one individual is being the better and the bigger person is the main one that was getting critiqued through several videos, right? Which is the business owner. But yet you got the woman that wants to just do all of this. Like I said, I don't know what to tell people no more. People are going to be where they're going to be up until, they want better for themselves. So, hopefully it comes to a point in time where that woman decides that she wants to, change a lot of that stuff. And, she'll start, everything will start fluctuating. Like I said, I'm not saying that she's doing, bad in business. I looked at a lot of her stuff. She's doing pretty well for herself. But the thing that I do understand is that with help, instead of you just doing good or better for yourself, you could just end up be doing, excellent. Right? But that's up for, other people to do and to come to that realization.